Everybody wants to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody on 149th Street at the bench.
You won't believe a comment I've been getting more and more recently, something I've been seeing pop up more and more frequently, and it absolutely boggles my mind, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will agree, but people are beginning to feel like practice is gatekeeping, and they think that skill is a form of gatekeeping. And something that's a parallel to this is certain people saying that graffiti has no fundamentals, and some of this does circle around back to the internet, because yeah, sure, on the internet when it first was popping up on 12-ounce profits or bombing science or various other forums, you always had these hardcore bombers that were like, graffiti has no fundamentals. You even saw it in some documentaries. That kind of quieted down a little bit, and then we had YouTube where you saw a lot of the same, and then you had Instagram where you saw a lot of the same, and now with TikTok springing up with a lot of graffiti on there, we're beginning to see the same thing over and over again, where you have these people who either A, are soft and don't believe they need to practice, which if you find out a way to get better without practice, please by all means let us all know, because I would love to have those secrets. Or B, they're hardcore bombers and don't believe graffiti has any fundamentals. Both of these trains of thoughts are kind of spawned from ignorance, and both lead down the same path of ignorance. That path of ignorance doesn't guarantee any progression at all, but these people would go ahead and say that, well, you don't need any progress. Yet on the same breath, they'll go ahead and call certain things toy and not toy, which the existence of toy means that there has to be an existence of something of a higher quality. And how do you think you get to that higher quality? So now you have these, sorry for putting it this way, but you have these otherwise idiots who think that these fundamentals don't apply because they simply don't know them and they don't understand them. And due to their own ignorance, they denounce the existence of the fundamentals, and when new graffiti artists go ahead and talk to these people, they poison the new graffiti artists with their ignorance. And so continues the cycle. So if you're a new graffiti artist watching this video and you hear anyone say that graffiti doesn't follow fundamentals, it doesn't have fundamentals, you don't have to practice, you already have style, or you hear them say, oh, my work doesn't use these things, or I don't think about these things, understand, an individual's ignorance to the fundamentals is not evidence that the fundamentals do not exist. That would be the same thing as somebody who has no idea about anything with computers denying the existence of a motherboard just because they never heard the word before and they don't understand what it is or what it does. Or thinking that you just breathe on your own and there is no anatomical reason or explanation for that process to happen just because he doesn't understand anatomy and the function of the body. But I think today in general, I think this whole entire mindset of not, having to practice and certain things being gatekeeping come from extremely soft people with no mental fortitude at all whatsoever. These people are lazy, they don't want to do the work, they want everything handed to them on a silver platter, and for all intents and purposes, they suck at everything for the most part. Practice is not gatekeeping, it is the standard. It is the bare minimum. If you can't achieve the bare minimum, then that says more about you and how lazy you are. Skill level is a result of your practice. So if you're upset because you think skill is somehow gatekeeping, then it only speaks to how much of an amateur and how much of an idiot you would have to be in order to not have done the practice. Could you imagine these people seeing that logic through in their life? That what? They think they're gonna just walk into a law firm and start being a lawyer without studying and practice? Like, what do they think? How does that make any sense? How stupid and lazy do you have to be to have that kind of mindset? There's a science behind how everything works in the world, and as artists we have to understand the science behind the art we do. If somebody doesn't understand the science behind it, that's their fault, that's their problem, and as a result of that, they probably won't be getting much better. And that's really the key thing here, is like, for you guys who are new to graffiti, understand, relentlessly drawing and practicing does not at all guarantee that you will become better. In fact, it more so guarantees that you will become more ignorant. Here on this channel, I always talk about how you have to not only be a skilled artist, but you have to be a smarter artist. Both of those things are extremely important. Assuming you do at least a little practice, a smarter artist is always guaranteed to make progress. And this right here is the key factor. Practice in and of itself is not necessarily useful. You have plenty of graffiti artists who draw for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and they don't get any better at all. But they do become more ignorant over that time. More ignorant to their mistakes, more ignorant to the fundamentals of existence, more ignorant to pretty much everything. But when you combine that practice with research and knowledge, you guarantee progress and intelligence. And that's where you get actual professional skill and knowledge levels. That's what separates every other art form from graffiti. So in short, dudes, new graffiti artists especially, I definitely want you guys to leave this video understanding that you have to practice, and you have to practice hard in order to get better. If you hear graffiti artists giving you this fluff BS about, oh, style comes from your heart and you can achieve it however you want, that's all horse crap. Man, that's all BS. Put it to the side and just focus on your practice and focus on having a good time as well. Balance the two out and you'll be perfectly fine. I promise you that. But don't get distracted from all these glittery sayings that people throw out there in order to make you feel good. On that note, if you want to make graffiti as easy as it's ever been to learn, I got books I published in the description down below, and you have the best how to do graffiti playlist somewhere on one of these. Why did I forget where that goes? I think it's on this side. Hopefully I'm right. And we got more graffiti content right down here, and I'll catch you guys back here next week.